you come in as a rookie and like you said, like you're trying to figure out a new environment, new teammates. Like you don't want to say too much. You don't want to say too little. And it's just so hard.
What if I told you Caitlin Clark's toughest battles weren't fought on the court, but in the locker room? That her most remarkable achievement wasn't shattering records, but uniting a team. How do you radiate brilliance without eclipsing those around you? How do you blend in when you're born to stand out?
Crazy, like looking back at a year ago today or around this time, like I was just beginning my senior year of college. And obviously, you know, people knew who we were and people attended our games, but it's obviously not on the magnitude that it is now.
Yeah.
So like life just changes fast, but that's what makes it fun and cool. And, you know, quickly started a new chapter of my life too, like moving here to Indianapolis. And
in a candid podcast interview, Caitlin Clark gave fans an inside look at her rookie year and the challenges she faced. Her comments about her teammates might just change everything you thought you knew about the Indiana Fever. What does she truly think of the team? From rising star Aaliyah Boston to her close bond with Lexi Hull and seasoned veterans like Kelsey Mitchell and Erica Wheeler. Get ready for Caitlin's unfiltered take on her squad. Let's dive in.
I mean, it was just a crazy year because you go all the way up to the national championship game and then you're playing right away.
Yeah.
You know, one of my coaches early on in my career said, you know, your rookie year is always so hard because you're in a new city, you're in a new place, you're with a new team, new coaches. There's so much that's not part of the routine that you're so used to. And you had that as like magnified.
Imagine this. Caitlin Clark, the college phenom, takes her first steps onto a WNBA court. The spotlight is blinding and expectations are through the roof. But her toughest hurdle isn't her performance. It's figuring out how to fit in with her new team. On the Asterisk, New Heights Asterisk podcast, Clark shared her rookie year anxieties, revealing.
But like in my scenario, and obviously you guys too, like you're already highly thought of. Like people are turning to you to like be something or be someone. So it's hard. Like you're trying to get your feet wet, but also not do too much. And I think that's kind of what I struggled in early on is like, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to say it. I don't know how they're going to react.
The pressure was overwhelming, and Clark found herself caught between two worlds. She admitted to feeling out of place in the locker room, unsure whether to lead or follow. The mental tug of war was amplified by her already immense fame. Yet, amidst the uncertainty, Clark discovered a silver lining. The fast-paced life of the WNBA kept her grounded and focused.
But I think it was good a little bit too. Like you don't have time to overthink things. Like it's just like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah,
like you're just on to the next. But at the same time, like you don't like, I feel like I never really ended the chapter of college. Like it was just like you up and left. But maybe that's good. You don't have a lot of time to think about it. So I think that's definitely the weirdest part of, you know, women's professional basketball and obviously college basketball too. Is just that change. But that's kind of how it has to be too. So it's just different.
Her teammates became her rock during this whirlwind transition. They offered support, understanding, and a sense of stability, helping Clark navigate the complexities of her rookie year.
For not knowing, you nailed it.
But also, like, I had a lot of really good vets around me, too. So I feel very grateful for that. And we had a fairly young team, too. So, like, people had been through it fairly recently, so they knew how I felt. But, like, I feel like that definitely is a huge challenge. And that goes for whatever professional sport. Like, you're trying to learn, but also people are looking at you like, you got to perform and, like, be what they drafted you to be. And that can be tough.
You really nailed it. But I was also fortunate to have a great group of veterans around me, Clark reflected. I'm really grateful for that, especially since we had a young team overall. Many of them had gone through the same experience recently, so they understood exactly what I was going through. It's a huge challenge, no matter the sport, to step into the pro world. You know everyone's watching, waiting for you to live up to the expectations they set when they drafted you, and that pressure is tough to handle.
You know, for me at least, there was a lot. Some vets were incredible. Some of the vets, obviously, you're competing for jobs, so there's a little bit there. But you lean so much as a young player on your vets, and you lean so much from like even just like in Philly. There's so many great players that played for the Eagles. That like Harold Carmichael, who was a legendary Philadelphia Eagle, was like always around and willing to lend advice or anything. Did you have many former players or current players like reach out to you that really helped you in transitioning into the WNBA?
In a candid moment, Clark admitted that she never really felt like she closed the college chapter. "It was like you just left, and that was it. Maybe that's for the best though. You don't have time to dwell on it," she shared. This glimpse into her mindset revealed how abrupt and challenging the transition to the pros can be, even for someone as accomplished as Clark. Let's talk about Caitlin Clark's on-court partners in crime, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, and Lexi Hull. These players are more than just names on the roster. They're the heart of the Indiana Fever, a dynamic quartet ready to reshape the WNBA. But despite the hype, the road to chemistry wasn't without its bumps. At the start of the season, Lexi Hull struggled to find her footing. She wasn't getting the minutes she hoped for, and it was tough, but she kept putting in the work behind the scenes. At the beginning of the season, my playing time was definitely different than it was by the end. But I trusted the process, stayed ready, and when the minutes came, I made the most of them, Hull said. Her patience paid off. After the Olympic break, Hull found her rhythm and went on a tear, showcasing her grit on both sides of the ball. Clark noticed it too. Lexi's been incredible, especially on defense. She brings a spark and a tenacity that we needed, and her willingness to do whatever it takes has been crucial for our defense. Now, let's rewind to Clark's first practice with Aaliyah Boston. The two didn't immediately click, and there was a moment of miscommunication that could have derailed things. But instead of a disaster, it became the start of something special. Clark and Boston quickly developed a chemistry that's become almost poetic, especially in their pick and roll plays. Caitlin knows exactly where Aaliyah's going, and Aaliyah knows exactly where Caitlin will be. The magic between them isn't just about skill, it's about trust and repetition. Over the first 13 games, Clark had 17 assists to Boston. But in the final 14 games, that number skyrocketed to 54. The growth wasn't just improvement, it was a complete evolution of their connection. Caitlin opened up about Aaliyah's influence on the team. Aaliyah's always there for her teammates, whether things are going great or not. She's a consistent voice in our locker room and such a positive light. She's been incredibly helpful for me, especially during my rookie year. She went through it just last year, so having her experience to lean on has been invaluable. Our chemistry is growing stronger every game, and I'm so thankful for her. And then there's Kelsey Mitchell. When Caitlin Clark joined the Fever, Kelsey's reaction wasn't what many expected. Early on, Kelsey was playing a lot of isolation ball, trying to find her role on a team now under the spotlight. But as the season progressed, Kelsey's adjustment became clear. She embraced Caitlin's style and found her own way to fit in. The dynamic of this group might not have clicked instantly, but by the end of the season, they were in sync, and the results spoke for themselves. Together, these players are the core of the Fever's future, and with Clark leading the charge, they're only getting started. Let's dive deeper into Caitlin Clark's incredible journey with the Indiana Fever. It's not just about the points or the assists. It's the bonds she's built, the teammates who have become family, and how her rookie year transformed not just her game, but the entire team dynamic. At the beginning, it wasn't all smooth sailing. Clark's connection with Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell wasn't instant, but as the season went on, something magical happened. After the Olympic break, the team started to gel. The backcourt of Clark and Mitchell began to click in a way that made them one of the best duos in the league. Mitchell, who had her share of struggles at first, had nothing but praise for Clark. "I just want to say congratulations. You've changed the world in so many ways. You've done it with so much grace, and I'm so happy to be on the floor with you." For Clark, Mitchell wasn't just a teammate. She was a mentor, someone who had been through the league for years and understood the grind.